You probably think spending a couple $1,000s on a purebred cat is crazy. But what if I told you there is a cat out there that costs more than a brand new Porsche? When I first saw these price tags, I thought it was a complete scam. But after digging into the luxury pet underworld, I found 5 cat breeds strictly reserved for the ultra-rich. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes them cost 6 figures, and the weird genetic loophole breeders used to create them. Let's get into it. If you want a cat that looks like it just stepped off an alien spaceship, you get a Peterbald. A purebred will easily set you back $5,000, but to understand why they are so expensive, you have to go back to a bizarre genetic experiment in Russia in 1994. Breeders took a hairless Don Sphinx and crossed it with an Oriental Shorthair, creating a completely new, dominant hairless mutation. But the real cost of this cat isn't the initial purchase. It's the absolute nightmare of keeping it alive and comfortable. Because they have a completely different genetic mutation from the famous Canadian Sphinx, they have zero insulation. Their bodies are forced to work in absolute overdrive 24 hours a day just to maintain a normal core temperature. That means they have an insanely fast metabolism. They eat significantly more than a normal cat, and their skin requires constant maintenance. If they go in the sun, they get severe sunburns. If the house drops a few degrees, they can freeze. Oh, and they possess a highly unusual physical trait: webbed, oval paws with elongated toes that act almost like human fingers. They can literally turn doorknobs, open cabinets, and pry their way into your pantry. So you're paying $5 for an animal that requires a specialized diet, constant temperature control, and will actively break into your food supply. Now, $5 is a lot. But what if you wanted an animal that was literally engineered for a king? Enter the Khao Manee. For hundreds of years, this breed was the most heavily guarded secret in Thailand. In the late 19th century, King Chulalongkorn was so obsessed with these pure white cats that it was decreed highly illegal for anyone outside of the immediate royal family to own one. The punishment for stealing a Khao Manee was supposedly death. The bloodline was so fiercely protected that not a single one of these cats ever left the borders of Thailand until the year 1999. They are world famous for 2 things: their pure snow-white coats and their mesmerizing odd eyes, where one eye is icy blue and the other is gold or green. But from a biological standpoint, this $11,000 aesthetic comes with a brutal genetic curse. The exact dominant gene that creates that brilliant white fur and the blue eye also causes severe congenital deafness. To create a Khao Manee with the royal look but perfectly functioning hearing, reputable breeders have to utilize highly advanced, expensive genetic tracking. It takes generations of careful, calculated mating to breed the deafness out while keeping the white gem appearance perfectly intact. When you buy this cat, you aren't just paying for a pet. You are buying into hundreds of years of carefully protected, ancient royal genetics. But if you are less interested in royalty and more interested in having a pet tiger, and, honestly, you value your life, the Bengal is about as close as you can legally get. While a standard one might cost a couple thousand, a top-tier, show-quality Bengal with perfect genetics will sell for up to $25,000. The Bengal wasn't actually created for its looks. It was originally the result of a 1960s scientific study on feline leukemia. Researchers crossed a standard domestic cat with a completely wild Asian leopard cat. The first-generation babies from this pairing are called F1s. F1 Bengals are incredibly expensive because they are basically half-wild predators. They don't act like house cats at all. They require special zoo-like enclosures. They often need a raw meat diet, and if you leave them alone, their wild instincts will literally destroy your living room. It takes 4 generations of careful breeding, down to the F4 level, before the cats develop the personality of a loving house pet, while still keeping that breathtaking, muscular, wild look. But the craziest part about the Bengal is a totally unique biological anomaly called the glitter gene. It's not actually a color, it's a structural defect in the hair shaft that traps these tiny microscopic pockets of air. When a high-quality Bengal walks into the sunlight, those air pockets catch the light, making the tips of their fur look like they've been dusted with crushed diamonds. But even a Bengal looks like a toy compared to the Savannah cat. If you want the absolute highest tier of this breed, you better be prepared to write a check for $50,000. Instead of a small leopard cat, the Savannah is crossed with a serval, a massive, long-legged wild African predator that's actually capable of taking down small antelope. A Savannah cat is so incredibly athletic that it can literally jump straight up into the air from a standing position and clear 8 feet. They're so large and powerful, they have to be walked on leashes, just like dogs. But breeding them is a logistical and biological nightmare. The African serval and the domestic cat have totally different gestation periods. A serval is pregnant for 73 days, while a domestic cat is only pregnant for 65. This means the domestic mother's body often rejects the wild kittens, or they're born dangerously premature. Creating an F1 Savannah is incredibly rare, statistically improbable, and, honestly, genuinely dangerous for the animals involved. Because of this heavy wild bloodline, Savannah cats are highly restricted or outright illegal to own in several major cities like New York, and banned entirely in countries like Australia and the UK. You're paying for the legal loopholes, the massive import fees, and the absolute rarity of an animal that, frankly, belongs on the African Savannah. Which brings us to the $125,000 cat, the Ashera. In 2007, a luxury pet company called Lifestyle Pets made a massive announcement. They claim to have genetically engineered the ultimate feline in a state-of-the-art laboratory. They marketed the Ashera as a patented, completely hypoallergenic mix of wild African cats, Asian leopards, and secret domestic breeds. It was pitched as the ultimate status symbol. Billionaires, celebrities, and royalty immediately lined up, joining a year-long wait list and paying well over 6 figures for these exclusive designer animals. But then, the entire empire collapsed over a single photograph. An actual Savannah cat breeder in Pennsylvania named Chris Shirk saw a news article showing off the new $125,000 Ashera. He looked closely at the photograph and realized something horrifying. He recognized the exact markings on the cat. It was one of his. Federal investigations and DNA tests were immediately ordered. The results shocked the pet world. Lifestyle Pets hadn't engineered a magic, hypoallergenic new breed in a lab. The founder, a known con artist named Simon Brody, was secretly buying standard Savannah cats from regular breeders for a few $1,000s. He was flying them out, changing the name to Ashera, slapping a fake patent on them, and reselling them to the ultra-rich for $125,000. The most expensive cat breed in the history of the world was nothing more than a masterclass in marketing fraud. People spending over $100,000 on a fake cat is wild, but the dog world takes it to a completely different level. Click the video on your screen right now to see the $1.9 million dog that looks like a literal bear. You do not want to miss this one. Click right here and I'll see you there.